Welcome back, artistic ladies and gentlemen, to another Wizard Wednesday challenge episode in this PTCGO series, the 4-step weekly challenge where you get a chance at winning some booster packs, and more about that later at the end of the video. We are going to dive right into the first step of the challenge, which is selecting an energy type for the type of Pokemon we're gonna play with today. And we are gonna play with grass Pokemon. Look at how smooth the deck wizard has become ever since the Fates Collide update. I'm loving it. I'm loving it already. We're gonna play in the standard format. Let's see which random deck the PTCGO deck wizard generates for us. And it looks like we've got some water Pokemon there, so we'll get rid of those. We are going to play with grass Pokemon. No water Pokemon in this deck. We don't want to see them. Let's have a look at the Lilligant. Boo-hoo! Hits for 20 for a grass energy. If your opponent attaches an energy card from his hand to the defending Pokemon during the next turn, that Pokemon will be asleep. And that is interesting effect of that attack. And Leaf Slice, flip 2 coins. This attack does 30 damage times the number of heads. Not a very powerful Pokemon, not a lot of HP either, so we'll have to see if we are going to work with that. We've also got the Ludicolo Captivating Rhythm. Once during your turn, you may flip a coin. If heads, switch one of your opponent's benched Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon. So it's basically like a free Lysander if you manage to flip heads. And we've got the water variant as well with the Alpha Recovery. When this Pokemon is healed, double the amount healed. He's only got 130 hit points, so very easily knocked out. And then he's got the Astonish attack. Choose a random card from your opponent's hand. Your opponent shuffles that card into his deck after revealing it. And a Splash Dance during your next turn. This Pokemon's Splash Dance does 60 more, so it does 120 plus 60 from the first attack. That's 180. That's a 2-hit knockout on the axis. That is an interesting effect, or an interesting attack for sure. And we've got the Lombre as the grass pre-evolutions together with the Lotad. I'm fairly interested in making a Ludicolo deck for today. I'm actually pretty interested in that. So what we are going to do, we've also got the Trevenant EX with the Wood Blast. Hits for 20 more damage for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon, plus 50 as the base. Can be an interesting Pokemon to play around with, but we are not going to do that. We are going to play around with Ludicolo, so let's get rid of the Trevenant as well as the Lilligant line. I don't feel like using it. And we are moving into the second step of the challenge. The second step, we also need to select at least half of the trainer cards of the original list, and we've got a lot of trainer cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 divided by 2, that's 5. So I need to select at least 5 of these cards. Let's have a look. We'll get rid of the Archie. No need for the Archie for sure. Oh well, maybe we've got the Ludicolo. Let's put the Archie back in. Let's leave it in for now. We'll get rid of the Great Ball. There's much better Pokemon search cards out there than the Great Ball. And Scope, we already have the ability to look at our opponent's hand with our Ludicolo. At least part of his hand, 1 card. So we are going to get rid of the Hand Scope. And that means we can get rid of 3 more cards. We've got a Delinquent, Escape Rope. Escape Rope. We've got that Ludicolo with the Lysander ability. Do we need an Escape Rope? Do we need it? What do we want to get rid of? I'm gonna get rid of the Cherno. There's much better draw supporters like the Sycamore and the Birch than the Cherno. Assault Vest. Assault Vest. We could put an Assault Vest on our Ludicolo against Night March. That would give us 170 hit points when we have not been attacked yet. Let's leave the Assault Vest in for now. We can get rid of 2 more cards. 2 more cards. Delinquent, I don't think I will use Delinquent in a deck. And I'm not going to use the Parallel City either. So that leaves us with these 5 cards, so these 5 trainer cards. And that means it's time for the third step. In the third step of the challenge, I am going to build a deck myself based around a Ludicolo And my deck list must include the trainer cards that I selected. So my final list must have an Assault Vest, a Pokemon Fan Club, an Archie's, a Super Rod, and a Escape Rope in it. I'm going to do that right now, and I'll be right back when I've finished my list. With a click of the finger, we have arrived at the final list. Let's first try to find the original Deck Wizards trainer cards. On the far right, we have the Archie's Ace in the Hall. We've also got the Escape Rope on the same row and the Super Rod in the middle. Oh my goodness, we can click on the cards again. Look at that, it works again. My goodness, the Fates Collide update is a truly marvelous update. Oh, they fixed it, they fixed the glitch, that is amazing. Anyways, where were we at? The Super Rod, that's number 3, Assault Vest number 4, and Pokemon Fan Club number 5. And then we've also got the Delinquent. I put in the Delinquent after I put it back in after taking it out earlier on, because we are going to try to pull off a Delinquent strategy with Ludicolo's Astonish attack. Astonish hits for 30. We get to choose a random card from our opponent's hand, and our opponent has to reveal it and shuffle it back into his deck. So if we can red card our opponent down to 4 cards, or if our opponent already has 4 or less cards in hand, and then we can use our Delinquent after that, and this Delinquent will then reduce his hand size to 1 card, or if he has less than 4 cards, to 0 cards. But if he reduces it to 1 card, we can then use Ludicolo's Astonish attack, shuffle back that card into his deck, and just like that, my opponent is left with 0 cards in hand, 0 Bupkis cards. And what we could do then is we could go for a Splash Dance in the next turn, start hitting my opponent for some nice damage output, 60 plus 20 from the Muscle Band. I do run 2 copies of Muscle Band. Or even in the next turn, that would be 140, 60 plus the 80, 60 plus 60 plus 20, so 60 plus 80. Or we could also go with a Bunnelby, start milling my opponent's deck, mill with a Burrow, or even get back cards of our own with a Rototiller. For example, if our opponent has discarded some of our DCEs, we could get them back with the Rototiller in deck for DCEs. And then 5 Water Energy, purely for the Splash Dance, as well as for the free retreat. Since our Ludicolo has a 2 retreat cost, we are going to give ourselves free retreat with the Manectric here. We can put Manectric down, and each Pokemon with a water energy attached will have no retreat cost, including the other Ludicolo with the Captivating Rhythm, which is going to help us to stall against some opponents, so we can Licener out their Hoopa EX. This is a free free Licener, and I don't have a Licener in deck, so we'll have to get out this Ludicolo if we want to Licener my opponent. I just realized that after building the deck, but it's too late now. I've built it, I cannot change it anymore. Otherwise I would put in a Licener supporter for sure, but I'm already tight on space as well, so I wouldn't know what to cut for a Licener. Anyways, I have decided to run a First of Giant Plants, so that we can evolve into our Lombre in our first turn, and then we can evolve into the Ludicolo in the next turn, in our second turn. And that's basically it for the deck analysis. There's 2 Shaymin for draw support, 3 N, that's not an N, 3 N from the new Fates Collide set, as well as 2 Sycamore. So in total, quite a bit of draw support in this deck, combined with the Ultra Ball and 1 copy of Archie, which could allow us to get a Ludicolo in play, as well as draw into 5 cards. And there's 2 Level Ball as well to search out our Lotads and our Lombres. And that's it for the deck analysis. I'm gonna leave it here. Leave a like if you enjoy the premise of this deck, and subscribe to my channel for more silly, fun and competitive deck ideas. Right now I'm going to find some battles and see if we can pull off the strategy that I'm trying to pull off, or that I want to pull off. But first, before we do that, let's talk about the weekly contest where I'm giving away 4 XY base set packs and 2 breakthrough packs on the Pokémon TCG Online, because I nearly forgot. I'm gonna be honest here. What do you have to do to be eligible to win those packs? All you've got to do is send me your own Ludicolo list. It doesn't matter whether it's similar to mine or completely different. Just take a screenshot of it and send it to me via my Facebook page. My Facebook page is in the description. I'll also put a link in the comments. Even if you don't own Ludicolo, you can still make a list. All you've got to do is click the Show Not Own button here, and when you then put a card in the list that you do not own, it will appear grayed out, just like the Jirachi here. But you can still take a screenshot of that. And now comes the important part. The second person to send me their list, as well as the fourth person to send me their list, those two people will get a chance at winning the packs. So it's a bit random that way, and I will be choosing the winner from those two people. The winner will receive the 4XY base packs, and the other person will receive the 2 breakthrough packs, and that's it for the contest. So now it's for real time for the battles. Maximus is going to be our first opponent of the day with a pure lightning deck and a nice Milotic deck box. I have put in a grass coin, so we are going to call the coin flip. We are going to start off first for sure. I've put in a water deck box to kind of symbolize the mixture of grass and water typing in this deck. So we've got a grass coin and a water box. Let's start off with the Seismitoad, potentially item lock my opponent. We've got a red card as well to start, so very good hand here at the start. And a Sycamore. Probably going to get rid of this water energy and going to look for a DCE. Unfortunately, I'll have to discard my Super Rod, but we have a Bunnelby to shuffle it back, as well as the water energy. We could shuffle back the water energy with the Bunnelby. Let's start off by red carding my opponent. He starts off with a lone Magnemite. That is not a very good start for my opponent. This is going to be a Magnezone acceleration deck. Get a Assault Vest. Let's put the Assault Vest on the Bunnelby. I don't think we'll need it. And then let's attach an energy to the Seismitoad. We couldn't find a DCE, so we'll just attach a water energy. Oh, this is new. This interface. Let's see, what will we discard? Let's discard the Archie's Ace in the Hole. And let's also discard the Hex Maniac. It's going to come in handy later on, I think. What else do we want to discard? Maybe another Battle Compressor. What do we have in our hands? Have we got any draw support? We do. We've got an N and a Shaymin. So let's go with these 3. Click done. Discard those cards. Put down our Shaymin. Draw into some more cards. 3 cards to be precise. And hopefully something nice. A Lotad or a Lombre. And there it is. There is the Lotad and the Lombre. Both. We got both in hand there. Oh, and the tooltips have been activated because of the update. We are going to end our turn here, so pretty decent start for us. Next turn we can start item locking, or we could try to find free retreat with our Pokemon fan club. But I think I'm going to go for an N, really. Or I could go for a Delinquent. I think I'm going to go for a Delinquent. Let's go for a Delinquent. Let's get rid of my opponent's cards in his hand. After all, this is a Delinquent deck. We are just going to pass our turn after that. Let's Delinquents, get rid of our own stadium. We don't really need the first of giant plants all that much anyways. We've already got a Lombre in play, and it looks like my opponent doesn't have much of anything. Oh, it discards 2 puzzles and a VS Seeker. That is pretty darn big. Pretty darn huge. And he is top decking, so actually I kinda... Oh, he top decked a Sycamore. Never mind, he top decked a Sycamore. So now we need to start putting some pressure on him. Stop fooling around. It looks like it's going to be a Luxray break deck together with Magnezone. Luckily we managed to get rid of his puzzles of time there. Luckily that's gone. And a shock generator which fails once again. That's twice already. We could potentially go for a grenade hammer. That's definitely a possibility. Let's attach this DCE. And then we shall go with an N. Reshuffle my opponent's hand. What do we get here? We get another Shaymin as well as a Lotad. I could go with a Ludicolo, but I would have to discard a DCE if I put down the Lotad. I'm going to discard the Lotad instead and this water energy. And that is 2 water energy in my discard pile already. And we shall go for a Ludicolo. Or maybe even a... maybe even this one. Try to Lysander out my opponent. It's an interesting option. I'm actually going to use the other one. We have an attacker right now. Let's go with the other Ludicolo and see if we can maybe Lysander out the Shinx, which is the biggest threat on the board right now. Might as well use the ability while I can, and we flip tail. So we fail our first Lysander, our first try at using the Captivating Rhythm. And there we get a Manaphy. Ideally I want to get another Lotad, but that didn't work out for us. So what we are going to do is we are going to just hit for the Quaking Punch, and next turn we are going to hit our end once again. We are trying to lock our opponent out of using Rare Candy into Luxray. So hopefully my opponent runs Rare Candy in his deck and relies on it solely. That would prevent him from ever evolving into Luxray. But I think he will run at least one copy of the Luxio. Luxio has a pretty good attack. At least one Luxio I know of has a very decent attack. And another Shock Generator with another Tails. This is just Tails galore here, this game. Oh my goodness, Tails galore. Might as well put down another Stadium and hit the end once again. Can we maybe find a Water Energy? We can. And 2 Lombre, so we have very little luck drawing into our Lotads. Let's see. No, I'm just gonna Quaking Punch. I'm not gonna risk it just yet. Let's try our luck with the Captivating Rhythm, and we did manage to succeed at the Captivating Rhythm. You know what? I'm going to Grenade Hammer actually. Knock out this Shinx. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Let's Grenade Hammer. Is the biggest threat on the board. So let's put something on some damage on our Ludicolo and on our Shaymin. We can also always Sky Return the Shaymin. In the next turn I'm gonna put 30 on the other Shaymin, I think, and try to take the game by knocking out the Magnemite. We'll give our opponent a turn of item cards. He doesn't really have any basics, and we can try to Captivating Rhythm that Shinx once again. Just get rid of all of his attackers before they can even come out. All we need to do is flip heads, and another Tails for my opponent. Wow, I feel so bad for my opponents. I feel so bad for him. Let's try our luck with the Captivating Rhythm. Can we get heads? We get Tails. We get Tails. I'm gonna put a DCE on the Shaymin, and I'm gonna get out. I have to discard another Water Energy. I don't really fancy doing that. Yeah, that's not good. That is not good. Maybe I'm gonna discard a VS Seeker, I think. How many VS Seekers have you used? I know I keep looking at my discard pile. 0. I'm gonna discard a VS Seeker and a Lombre. We can always Sky Return with the Shaymin if we want to draw into some more cards. And I'm gonna get out a Manaphy actually. Get out that Manaphy so we can retreat our Seismitoads when we want to. And then I'm gonna go for the Grenade Hammer once again. Knock out the Magnemite this turn. Put 30 on the Shaymin and 30 on the Shaymin with the DCE. Which I'm going to Sky Return in the next turn, I believe. That Shaymin. Gonna get it off my bench. Or unless my opponent doesn't find another basic, then we are just gonna knock out the Shinx. Because there is no point to leaving it alive. And there is a Luxio Thunderfang. That is not the Luxio I was thinking about. There is a better Luxio out there. It's for 30. Does it paralyze us? It does paralyze us. It does paralyze us. That is annoying. Let's put a Water Energy on the Bunnelby. We are just going to end our turn. I'm not going to end my opponent. Let's see what else he has in store. Can he find the Luxray? He needs to find the Luxray this turn, or it's going to be GG. There is a Luxray with 140 hit points, which can hit for 50. Maybe he should not have done that, because now we can attack the Luxray. Yeah, and otherwise he could have paralyzed this. Well, he actually needed to stay alive. I'm going to retreat into my Shaymin and Sky Return, and I'm going to promote. Let's see, he can hit for 100. Yeah, I'm going to promote the Manaphy, I think. Let's put another DCE on our other Shaymin, and then let's... Do we want to end? I kind of want to find a Delinquent. That's what I want to do. I'm going to discard my hand. See if I can find a Delinquent or a VS Seeker for a Delinquent. There is a VS Seeker, and we've got a Muscle Band, so we have game. We don't need to find the Delinquent anymore. Let's hit for the Grenade Hammer, put 30 on the Manaphy and 30 on the Bunnelby. 30 across the board here. Oh my goodness, that was a pretty nice game, I must say. We hit the Delinquent off at the start of the game there. We have seen our Ludicolo with Captivating Rhythm in action, and we've also seen the Toad in action as the main attacker with the Grenade Hammer. Very unusual stuff here in this game, I would say. Very unusual indeed. But it worked out for us. We were just way too fast from our opponent. Way too fast, too furious. Let's have a look at the stats. We hit for 620 versus 80 from our opponent. Seismitoad EX MVP versus Luxray. Let's see if we can find a second opponent for another win. The second opponent of the day is going to be Damien SL with another Lightning deck. Lightning and Colorless. Don't tell me this is another Luxray deck now. Yeah, we won again. I think we won last time, so we are going to start off first once again. Wow, what a hand. That is an interesting hand. Unfortunately, there is no stadium. Would have loved to get a stadium in this hand, just so I could evolve into a Lombre. And it looks like it's a Raikou Manectric deck. Right, so we'll have to try to find a stadium. Let's see, I'm gonna discard this Water Energy and the Lombre. One Lombre. Get out another Lotad. Maybe a Seismitoad. Let's go for a Lotad. Let's see if we can play around with the Lotad, with the Ludicolo as the attacker. Let's see if we can do that. And then we are going to put our Shaymin down. We have an N if we want to reshuffle our hands. An Assault Vest, that's not going to be the most useful for us, I think. Do we want to bench another Lotad? Let's do it. Let's bench another Lotad. And then let's look for a Shaymin. Discard the Sycamore and the Assault Vest. And there is the last Shaymin in the deck. Can we find our stadium? And can we find maybe another Lombre? Yes, there is a stadium. So we will evolve our Lotad in the active spot. All I want to find right now is an energy. The Water Energy would be great. And there is a DCE. That is okay for me. I will take it. We will use our level ball, get out another Lombre. And we shall attach a DCE to the Lombre in the active spot. Hopefully my opponent doesn't discard it. If he does, so be it. And I think that's it. We can go with the Ultra Ball in the next turn. Look for a... Let's see, we can look for a Ludicolo. We could also hopefully top deck a Battle Compressor, discard a Delinquent, and then get rid of my opponent's hand. He seems pretty low on hand size. He's down to 2 cards. He's got the Mega Manectric. We know he's got the Mega Manectric. We want to get rid of that Mega Manectric if we can. Getting a Delinquent would be pretty nice. And never mind, there's a Shaymin. He had a Shaymin in hand. Can he find some Spirit Links or something? A Battle Compressor, alright. Thin out your deck all that you want. We encourage you to do so. We want to see you thin out your deck as much as you can. Discards a Lysander, Hex Maniac, and another Energy. So he's going to try to accelerate there, and there's another Level Ball, probably for another Shaymin. What did he discard? A Fighting Fury Belt. No Spirit Link as of yet. What I want to get out is the Ludicolo with the Captivating Rhythm ability as well. I want to find that Ludicolo. And an overrun onto our Lombres, our two Lombres. And he's down to 2 cards. We know what he's got in hand. Unfortunately, we cannot discard it with our Delinquent because we don't have it in a discard pile. So I'm gonna discard this N and this Lotad. Gets a Ludicolo out with the Captivating Rhythm. And I'm going to try to use it already. And yes, we do manage to use it. Let's get that Shaymin in the active spot. Let's go for that Shaymin, why not? Hopefully we can discard that Mega Manectric from my opponent's hand, shuffle it back into his deck, and then we shall go with a Sycamore. Let's see what the Sycamore has to offer us. Can we find another Energy? We do, and we even find a Muscle Band. My opponent says, nice deck. Thank you very much, that is very nice. Thank you. I am scared of yours. Yeah, I am. His deck is pretty fast. We could try to go for a Splash Dance, but I'm actually going to go for an Astonish. I don't think there's any need for Splash Dance just yet. And there is the Mega Manectric getting shuffled back. Next turn we are going to go for a Splash Dance for sure. Get a knockout on that Shaymin if it stays in the active spot. And my opponent just Mega Evolved, so we are going to get a knockout here. We are going to hit for the Splash Dance, and in the turn after that we are going to do some more damage. Might as well put an Energy on the Lotad on the bench there. And then we shall Delinquent, get rid of our Stadium. Discard that card from my opponent's hand. Our opponent says he's in trouble. Yes, he's in top deck mode. Battle Compressor. We shall hit for the Splash Dance for 80. Next turn we are going to hit for 140. Hopefully my opponent doesn't find another Energy. And that's what we want to avoid. We even get another Forest of Giant Plants. What does he top deck? He is in top deck mode. He's not top decking much of anything. I kind of tempted to reshuffle his hands with the red card and discard some more cards actually. It is quite dangerous, so I'm not sure if I want to do it. Maybe in the next turn, Let's just hit for the Splash Dance for now. For 140. Maybe in the next turn. As soon as we can get a knockout. And another Spirit Link for a Manectric. And there is the retreat into a Raikou. We are going to try to Captivating Rhythm my opponent's Mega Manectric, and we can. So now our Splash Dance just hits for 80 once again. What we are going to do is we are going to put down the Stadium. We're going to try to pull off our tactics here. Reshuffle our opponent's hand. And then we shall attach an Energy to our Manaphy. Now we are going to Delinquent my opponent's hand one more time. And then we are going to hit for the Astonish, shuffle back his card in his hand. This is what we were trying to pull off before here. It won't be a knockout just yet, but that's okay. We shall hit for the Astonish, choose a random card from our opponent's hand and shuffle it back. It was an Energy. Wow. Wow, poor opponent, poor opponent. And he top decks him Manectric. Is going to retreat once again. We can still go for our Captivating Rhythm. Hopefully it works once more. It is Tails. That's okay. We are going to Splash Dance. Power up for the next turn. That's what we need to do right now. And just hope our opponent doesn't get anything nice. He's just top decking. Oh, I feel so bad for him. Let's see if we can maybe find a Lombre. We should have one more, I believe. Let's discard the N and the Hex Maniac. There is the Lombre indeed. Let's get out that Lombre so we can evolve into the other Ludicolo in the next turn. And then we shall try to hit for the Captivating Rhythm. And another Tails. So let's then hit for the Splash Dance once again. And actually I was wrong there before when I said that the Splash Dance wouldn't hit for 140 again. I think it does. We will find out here, but I think I read the card wrong. It does indeed. Yeah, it does indeed, I believe. He top decks a Pokemon fan club. He's really not top decking what he wants to top deck. We got a Bunnelby from the prizes, so our Bunnelby is going to come in handy if for some reason our Ludicolos get knocked out. And yeah, my opponent is going to keep retreating. We are going to try to keep licensing out that Manectric, but we keep failing. No need to use the Battle Compressor, we'll just evolve. And we shall hit for the Splash Dance for 140. So yeah, I was definitely wrong. I read the effect of the card wrong. I thought it reset every turn that you used it, but it doesn't. It just keeps going. It's pretty neat. We are destroying my opponent here, and I kind of feel like going with another Delinquent if I can at some point. There is a VS Seeker for a Lysander. We will attach a Water Energy to whatever my opponent Lysanders out. It's going to Lysander out our Ludicolo. That is why we have Manaphy in this deck. That is why it's here exactly. Let's use the Captivating Rhythm and another Tails. Might as well retreat them and just keep attacking. Yes, thank you for the tooltip PTCGO, but I don't really need it. Splash Dance for 140. 80. Wait, why is that? Because our Ludicolo was moved out of the active spot, I believe. That's why. So the effect resets on Ludicolo. That must have been it. And my opponent concedes the match. What a luck we had going on right there. That was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing indeed. Without Bunnelby even. And just top deck after top deck for my opponent. Wow. I think I cannot be any happier with the game that we just had. I think I won't be able to replicate that game anytime soon either. That was a pretty fantastic game. Damage dealt 760 versus 40 for my opponent. Ludicolo MVP versus Manectric EX. And we had a very nice opponent, very sportive, I would say. A nice sport. He was a nice lad. He complimented our deck. He sat through his terrible draws until the end there. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. Leave a like if you enjoyed my opponent's despair, his terror, his annoyance, his frustration, and subscribe for more of the same. I hope you have a Karptastic day, and I will see you next time.
Karp, 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 Karp.